Why would there be a tunnel that goes to home?
Isn't it sing why?
Yeah, no, it's for
Escape for
it's escape. It's escape
Cheskia.
for yeah.
For who?
Cheskia.
I sense some skepticism.
I see some skepticism in Rob's face.
Well, you're going through limestone, so it's not like you're going through granite.
It's got to be
It's a lot
a
softer.
walk through a tunnel of 12 hours for a king.
Well, Louis XVI tried to escape
He said,
Paris in
he
a
said
coach,
there are
but
4 known
he took his
tunnels.
time and he got caught.
Okay,
We don't
let's go to the easy stuff. Okay, what we learned on Monday was the Omek Hapshat of, first of all, a person being a shutaf to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, b'maisa gracious. The Gemara says it, to my knowledge, twice. The Gemara says that anybody who keeps Shabbos is a partner to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Maisa Gracious, and anybody who's done din emes la'amitoy, proper dayan, emes la'amitoy means you're really mechaven to the truth, not only the truth in halacha, but you actually got the truth there. Is nasa shutav HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'maisa gracious. What does it mean to be a partner with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Maisa Gracious? What does that even mean? So the understanding that we learned is that because Hashem and us, we're in the same business. That's what a shutaf is. A shutaf means we're in the same business. So we're partners.
Same team.
We might have different jobs in the partnership, but we're all both on the same side, and we're both trying to accomplish the same goal. In the case of business, to make money, presumably. Partners in an organization is to accomplish whatever chesed or whatever it is that you want to accomplish in the organization. So a shutaf in the Maisa Gracious means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes the first part of the world, let's call it in Kabbalistic language, the world of Bria, the world of Yetzirah, where things become form, and even made the Maisa Gracious of Asiyah. But then he made the Adam as the worker to complete the Maisa Gracious. So we have a new job description, not just be a good person, such as do mitzvahs. I don't mean to just in any type of a diminishing way, but it's not about that. That's about something different. What that's about is becoming a shutaf b'maisa gracious. You did your part, but their part. The grand mashal, the spoken about on Monday, is building the Mishkan. Building the Mishkan is the grand mashal. V'asuli Mishkan v'shachanti v'seicha. That you make the Mishkan. Why should you make the Mishkan? Hashem wants a real estate in this world, so make yourself a Mishkan. Find a beautiful cave, build something. Build Gan Eden, right? It's not a problem, but that's not the God department. That's our department. So, Asuli Mikdash, you do your thing, right? We're in construction. Here, we're the ones that are building. So, this is a simple shot. Person's doing. Person's creating a person builds a hospital, like creating a institution of chesed. Person builds whatever is you're building, some type of a chesed thing. So what you're doing is you're creating the world in a way to be makabel the Shechina. So you're putting the up and the down together. This, by the way, is so simple on the one hand, but so fundamental that in my humble opinion, it explains half of the Kabbalah, because everything that we know about, not that I know so much Kabbalah, but everything that we know about is all about Isarusa de La'ela, Isarusa de L'Sata, what we do, what Hashem does. But what's all that about? Even putting on tefillin, what is that? What is all that about? Isarusa de La'ela, Isarusa de L'Sata, all so many different concepts. Some of them very difficult, but it's all about, the simple shot is that we're shutfim. Like, I do mine, you do yours. So that's what Hashem says. Therefore, the Chiddush gets even bigger. The Chiddush then is that when we talk about a person being B'Tselem Elokim, so we're the same form, the same type, we look like Hashem. Hashem looks like us. The shot is that we're shutfim. This is not two worlds with a dichotomy.
Does it mean that we can force Kosh Baruch Hu to do things since we tell him by causing this house in
You're mixing me up. I'm sorry. Just 1 second. Not the what if. I just want to understand the concept, not the ramifications of it. The concept is that we have to understand the concept that we have to be B'Tselem Elokim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to be B'Tselem Meinu. Nasa Adam B'Tselem Meinu. Meaning, look, we all wear the same T-shirt. The tzura is the same. We have to mimic each other in the sense of, which is why we're going here, which is why we keep Shabbos. We keep Shabbos because, why do we have a menucha on Shabbos? Because Kivoy Shabbos Mikol Malachtoi, because Hashem stops working, means He's in charge, he's the boss, the enterprise stops. Kivoy Shabbos Mikol Malachtoi, Vayonach Bayom Hashvi. We're stopping. We're stopping. We're stopping now. So it's not about us keeping Shabbos. The creative part of the world, you're making us tweaking. It's done now. Shabbos, Vayonach, we're all resting now. So we're resting because Hashem is resting. Okay. We're resting because Hashem is resting. The answer is because the whole week long, we're creating because Hashem is creating. If we're creating because Hashem is creating, and a person, as I pointed out, is designed to create. A person is designed to create. Whether you're creating children, whether you're creating art, whatever you're creating, we're designed to create. If we're not creating something, we're not happy because we're not doing
Not alive either.
Not alive. Mamish not alive. They have to be creating something, even on a metaphysical level. Every word that we say creates. They have to be created. A person needs to create. A person wants to create. That's what living is. Why is that alive? Why is it alive? Let's not use any quick terms. Why are you not alive? Because you're not. That's the whole point. We're here to do our part in the creation. Let's call it Isarus de Lasata. We're tweaking. So therefore, when Hashem stops on Shabbos, it means stop. What are you creating if Hashem's not creating anything today? It's lahavel v'larik to create something on Shabbos. It's lahavel v'larik. So therefore, we take a beautiful step, because where we started talking is that seems to be two dinim of Shabbos. One din is that we all know, sort of, let's call it the Litvisha Shabbos, of keeping the Lamates Malachos and the Mitzvah Essay of Kiddush, etc. And then there's this other thing, which I read to you from the Ramban, and the Rambam in Halacha, that there's a din of Menucha on Shabbos. There's a din of Menucha. And they seem to be independent concepts. But it's not really independent concepts, because anybody who thinks that the pshat in keeping Shabbos is that you're not allowed to work on Shabbos is a mistake. It's not that everyone says that you can't work on Shabbos. It's not that you can't work on Shabbos. It's that you can't create on Shabbos. All of these malachas, all of the lamates malachas are creative by nature. You're cooking, right? You're building something. You're forming something. These are all of the lamates malachas are creative. So, meaning that sheishes yamim tasem melachtecho, do your job. We're creating for 6 days. We're creating. Who's creating? Hashem is creating. Who else? Us. So sheishes yamim tasem melachtecho, do your job for 6 days. Create. So it's not about working. There are many things that are not from the lamates malachos which are more work, if the word is work. The answer is it has nothing to do with work. It has to do with creation. So stop creating, because the creation department is closed here on Shabbos. It's a very interesting thing that l'chora, the only malacha, just while we're here, the only one of the lamates malachos which is not at all creative is carrying. So I carry this from here and I put it over there. You could carry something in your house. Theoretically, you could carry 100 pounds into your house, and you didn't create. So why, when I carry something from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, why is that called a malacha? Where's the creativity in it? So Tosfos in Shabbos stuff Beis Beis says that v'lachein hoitzah malacha geruahi. It's a very interesting lashon. It's a shvacha malacha, meaning malacha gerua. Mean, like, why would he take one of the lamates malachas? It's a lashon of Tosfos. Why would he take one of the lamates malachas, and he makes tremendous nafkaminas and halacha, and say it's a malacha gerua, meaning it's almost not a malacha. It is a malacha, but it's almost not a malacha, and which is why he explains. Tosfos also explains as an erev in Daf Ches, which is why he explains it's so you make an erev, and if it's a karmelis, you're not chayiv. It's because it's a malacha gerua. Now, on a metaphysical level, when I take this item out of the Rosh Hashanah and I put it into a Rosh Hashanah, it's a different item. But it's odakistic. I don't understand it. I'm not a metaphysicist, but
You're delivering it to market.
you are.
That product that you've prepared to move on, you're now delivering to market.
And therefore, how do you make it into a different?
No,
Let's say take from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah.
You bring it home from the store.
No, but it's the same potato.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
Like so it's taka malacha gerua, but apparently, on some metaphysical level, it's a different. I can understand it like this. I can understand that. I know that I personally, when I'm in one place, I'm a different person than I am in a different place. Right? Like like we change according to our environment. Do we not?
And whoever you are with, you change.
No. And you act differently if you're in a bar than if you're in a show.
So
Is carrying being some sort of an ancillary to doing the other 39 halachas?
No, it's a lamates malach. It's not an enabler.
I understand, but I mean...
But it's not an enabler. It's
I mean, but perhaps that's why, because you bring the hammer to the sheet metal or whatever, that, it's involved in the other malachas, so it's so...
But what if you do it inside a Rosh Hashanah?
yeah, it's the same thing.
Like, it could be. I mean, I've heard a lot of svaras, but this svar that I'm saying right now is pshat and Tosfos. I'm not talking now any davar shabbosayit. I'm talking about Tosfos. Tosfos, the Rogachover says the pshat and Tosfos is that he says Rogachover al korchach, you're making a shinui in something when you change its domain.
So
It's like maybe with the way technology is today, it's easier to understand. But I certainly understand it psychologically, but that there's an actual physical change in something when it changes its place.
So getting back to what you were saying a minute ago, does Yom Aslanu include Shabbos, or it doesn't include Shabbos?
That Hashem's taking care of us, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's on the contrary that on Shabbos is not the day to create. It's the day to refrain. But why? Because because Hashem refrains to create. So we're not creating today. What are we doing? We're celebrating today the creation. So all of this, what are we saying with all this? All this is the pshat in the importance in being a shutaf with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we're not even talking so much about Shabbos as we're talking about all week long. We're shutafim to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I tell you something, even in Torah, do you know that the Gra held in Hilchos Talmud Torah, the Gra holds that you shouldn't be machadish kedushay Torah on Shabbos. What then should you do on Shabbos?
Maybe he's afraid he might come to rain.
Mm-hmm.
He might come to rain.
Thinking too much. Thinking too much.
There's all kinds of creativity on Shabbos. Rabbi?
You're too litfish. Now that when you're machadish chidushay Torah, you've tweaked the whole bria. You've treated, okay, there's people that are creating with a hammer and a saw, and there's people that are creating in the legal offices of this world, right? There's people that are creating, the dayanim that are creating, and there's people that are mechadish kedusha Torah. So what Rabbi Akiva did with the Torah of Moshe was a tweak. It was a Ma'aseh of Bria.
Isn't it Dafka Tashmish and Friday night, which is ultimate?
Say it.
That's to the
But when you give a candy
Say
to a
it.
kid in
Good
shul
example.
on Friday, on Shabbos, when you give a candy to a kid in shul on Shabbos morning, you're also creating
What? Dental bills.
an attitude towards shul. You're involved. in
Okay,
the
so
congregation
and when you talk, you're creating.
Right, so that's
I asked my great Rebbe Rav Scheinberg Zatzal why he doesn't talk on Shabbos. So he told me it's a Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says that the saints of Yerushalayim didn't talk on Shabbos. So I said, okay, why didn't they talk on Shabbos? I asked, well, why did they talk? I said, Tosfos brings this in Masechta Shabbos. It brings the Yerushalmi. Show me. So I said, well, why did they talk on Shabbos? So he told me because of the Nefesh HaChaim. So Nefesh HaChaim, the Nefesh HaChaim says that every time a person says a word, he's boire oilamos in this world and in the next world. The Nefesh HaChaim in Shar Aleph is ma'arich on every word that a person says is boire oilamos. You're actually creating worlds. I have no idea what that means. You're boire oilamos, but you've created a new reality. This I can see. Every time you say something, you've created a new reality.
When you're davening too, though.
Of course. Okay, so those kind of realities we're allowed to create. So there's no halacha that you're not allowed to talk, but there's a refraining from talking. By the way, he didn't talk to your Torah either. Rav Scheinberg didn't talk to your Torah. If you'd ask him, is kosher or treif?
Yes.
I mean, he had a Shabbos vocabulary. Okay, that's what we say. Shlayeh diborcha b'Shabbos k'diborcha b'chol. I'm not recommending anybody does. I don't, but I can't. I try it sometimes for like 5 minutes. It's about as far as I can do. It's extremely strenuous not to talk on Shabbos, which is probably why we talk on Shabbos. Not to talk is very, it's an oil, something you have to think about all the time. But he didn't talk on Shabbos. At a Shabbos vocabulary, sometimes, mutter, usher, cotton, like that. And the shmuz that he gave on Shabbos was only after the first level of say Sakachavim. You wouldn't even talk to Great Torah. But my point is this: that it's not about work. It's about creating, and this is the Sheishas Yamim Tasa Malachtecha. He also would only learn as much as he could. He said he would only learn B'kiyas on Shabbos and Chazar on Shabbos, not to be Mechadesh Chidushei Torah. So these are the anhagas of tzaddikim that Mamash understood what it means to be a shutaf with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's go a little further, and I just want to caution. This is even what we said, but certainly what we're going to say. It's very delicate material, and it's very very easy to misunderstand. What I mean to say is it's easy to fall into something that we already understand and already know and say, okay, that's what that is, put it in a category. But if you do that, if you don't let the text talk to you and understand things correctly, open up your mind to things correctly, you could end up like some kind of Christian or something. So you got to be very very careful to not trivialize or not to reduce it to a place where it's easy to understand. But what we began was with the medrash of Isa, Gadol Koichin Shel Neviim Shemedam and Surah Liyotzra, that if, we were marach on this on one day, if you look at the works of Daniel, the nevuas of Daniel, Hanavi, and the nevuas of Yecheskel, Hanavi, you see two things. Daniel had a nevuah that Hashem was talking to Gavriel and telling him about the unfolding of the history of the world, the Arba Malchios. And he said when he said over his nevuah, Daniel, this was before in Daniel, when he said over his nevuah, he said, what does it mean that I heard Hashem talking to Gabriel? What does Hashem sound like? How could you hear Hashem's? Now this kasha you could ask him out in Torah too. So he said, Daniel answered that I heard him, V'haya koiloi kekol ha'adam, that his voice was like the voice of a person. Chiddush from Daniel HaNavi, that the voice of Hashem is like the voice of a person. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Bar Simon, says the Medrash, that I have a better thing to tell you, that Yecheskel saw V'ra'isi es hakisei, I saw the kisei hakavod, v'haya marasai kemare ha'adam. So another interesting idea that the Nevi'im taught us, that not only does Hashem sound like a person, so that already we knew at Har Sinai, but I'm telling you that he looks like a person too. Now, we all know, a disclaimer, that whatever you think God might look like, you're wrong, because ein lo dmos ein lo dmos haguf, ein lo tzura. So, whatever mishigas we have in our mind when we're davening and we're standing in front of Hashem, and we imagine we're standing in front of, whether it's an old man with a white beard or it's a light or whatever it is that people imagine, whatever it is, it's wrong.
It's us.
It's wrong, it's us. This is the unbelievable koach of a Jew, I believe, in particular, because I don't see goyim having this ability. They need to have like a thing there, some kind of a thing, an icon, a person. They need something there. But to be able to daven and be able to say Dalifnei mi ata oimei, to be able to say Shivisi Hashem lanegdi tamid, which is ma'akiv in tefillah, and not be able to even imagine who or what it is that I'm talking to is a pella, But there's something we're able to do. It's a ness. It's a ness that we can do this, and it works. Ka'avad lifnei rabbi. Okay, well, I know what a rabbi looks like. No. I know what a taskmaster looks like. No. Whatever you're thinking it's wrong, it's okay. You can take everything out of your mind, and somehow or another still die with kavanah. I don't think Goyim could do this. I mean, they could, but they don't. They don't. A lot of Jews don't. Now it could be that you can see somebody davening. I don't want to say anything bad. I'm just saying you could see somebody davening, and they could be like dressed very frobe, and they can really be davening. And it could be that they're being Oived Avodah Zarah. If they don't know what they're doing, if they have some kind of a childhood surah in their mind, that's why we don't make any surahs. We don't make any pictures. They have some kind of surah in their mind. So it could be like with all of the adukot that they're actually doing an avera every time they daven. So of course you have to be careful with this. At the same time, Yecheskel said, "I saw, and it looks like a man." What did he see? If you look at the pasuk, he doesn't see that he saw Hashem. Doesn't see Hashem. Ra'isi es hakisei v'hinehu k'mareh ha'adam. Again, in our Christian minds, we see the kisei as the throne of Hashem, and that's where you're seeing Hashem. That's not what he said. That's not what a kisei hakavod even means in Judaism. It's not what a kisei hakavod means. A kisei hakavod is a kisei for the Shekhinah. It's not a kisei for. So this says in Yeshayahu Samach Vav that Yeshayahu saw Hashem sitting on the kisei. V'ha'aretz hadoim raglo, right? And the world was his footstool. The only reason I know that's in Yeshayahu Samach Vav is because it was my bar mitzvah.
Mazel tov.
Shabbos Rosh Chodesh. So again, if you look at the psukim carefully, he didn't say he saw Hashem. He said he saw the kisei, and he saw the world, and then he goes on to talk about the Beis Hamikdash. Eze bayis asher tibnu li, ve'eze mako hibnu chasi. Good enough. That build me a Eze bayis asher tibnu li, ve'eze mako hibnu chasi. That's what it means. I'm in the kisei. The kisei is not the place of Hashem. The kisei is the place of the bria. So let's review what we all know. You have very important. There are 4 worlds which the Zohar identifies. There's the world of Atzilus, the world of Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. Abiyah. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. Simple is that as the world is being formed, the world is being created. Bria, Yetzira, as the world is being created, the world is being formed, the world is being made. Like if you're a sculpture, maybe first you have the picture in your mind, you make the picture out of paper, then you make the picture out of clay, and then you bake it, and it's the world of Asiya. There's a
process.
Here. So the process is, we don't know what's doing it at Atzilus. It's very close to Hashem. We know from Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. So I'll just give you a hint. Again, Lefi our Hasaga, Malachim live in the world of Yetzira. The Mazolos, all of these constellations and horoscopic inyanim are in the world of Yetzira. It's very close. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira. See, it doesn't mean that it's the clouds, as about outer space. That's in other words, but on a spiritual level. So these whatever it means, these malachim and these and the kacham, that which is actually mashpia on the world of Asiya. On top of the world of, so we have Asiya, that's the world we live in. And then you have the world of Yetzira, which is the world of malachim. Let's say, so it's the busy. If you're not zoche, so your life is governed by stars and by angels, because that's the world right on top of us. When we say Ein Mazel Yisrael, we can go direct. But the world of Yetzirah, the way Hashem made the Bria, and the way the world generally works, is the words of the Medrash that there's no piece of grass that grows. Ad she'omer alav malach Hashem v'omer loi gadel. So the Malach is telling the grass to grow. So it's a beautiful tzur, but it's not a beautiful tzur. It's Malachim in my lawn. What I want is to go directly up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Ein Mazel Yisrael, and we don't daven to Malachim, but we acknowledge also that Mekamlim Dein Medein V'Amr Kadosh Mishmei Meroima, that there are Malachim that grab tefillas and they take it up. But sometimes we daven in Aramaic. Let's say, like that, we daven in Aramaic, Yikupurka B'Shavaya, because we don't want the Malachim to understand, so how does your tefillah get up there? We want to go direct.
Even the Malachim say, I am a Kavodo.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Right, we're better. We're for sure better than Malachim, because Malachim are, they're limited. We're for sure better than Malachim. So, but I'm just basber the worlds. In the world of Bria, sits kiviyachol, again, I'm saying words. Don't, I'm not making pretend I understand it, so don't make pretend that I understand. In the world of Bria sits the Kisei HaKavod. And the Kisei HaKavod, the only thing I know about the Kisei HaKavod is that it is the Mechatsev, is the Lashon of the Zohar, Mechatsev HaNeshanos. Mechatsev means when you chisel out something that's even in modern Hebrew, the neshamas. So it really works like this. What really works is that Hashem creates a person. He takes the neshama, hear me carefully, he takes a person, you and me, person. He takes let's make a person. He takes a person, takes the neshama from the Kisei HaKavod, because that's the place, that's the Neshama factory, Kisei HaKavod. And then he takes the Nefesh and the Ruach for the world of Yetzirah, puts it all together and cooks it in the world of Asiya. We live in the world of Asiya, but we came from the world of Yetzirah and the world of Bria. Why did he do this all? Because now this final product, if you will, why do I say we're bigger than Malachim? Malachim are just there to create us and to create the world. And that's just the Makor of the Nefesh. But at the end, we're the world of Asiya, and we're the ones that are Shutav to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Malachim are not. Even our Neshamas are not. So, this is why...
They're Avadim.
Busy bees.
Right.
The Tachlis is always bigger than the Emtsai. So, if we're in the world of Asiya, we're coming from the world, we have a piece of, some busy work of Yitzir. Not only is there Malachim there, but that's where our personalities were created. And Nefesh and Ruach, that's where that comes from. All of the psychology of a person comes from a low world, the world of the same place that the stars are, the bazilas are. A person could change their... see, the basel is very much tied in with my Nefesh, like the Goyen writes from really paraphrasing the Gemara, he says that if a person is born, let's say, in Mazel Edom, it means you're a rough guy. So you should work with that. Be a shoichet, be a moil. Be a shoichet damim. In other words, use it to be shofet good damim instead of being a killer. But Asa was born in Mazel Edom. He could have been a shoichet or a moil, but he used to kill people.
Or a surgeon.
Or a surgeon.
Yaacov must also be born in that model. There's ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Using it two different ways. Which is where he said to Lavan, Achi, Hani Baramaz, I know how to do this. So, what's happening here is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, from Atzilus, creating a person and taking a piece from Bria, which is where the Neshamas are. He's taking a piece from Yetzirah, and he's taking and putting it in this world. Not only that, but it's Nefesh Oisa Nefesh. We're the ones that are really creating the people, as you point out. After the first person, even Chava was created from a person. So after the first person, it becomes us. So Rabbi Hashem is a genius in the way this all plays out. Now, work with me on this. Can we understand, according to what I just described to you, why when Hashem talks about how I create a person, he said, Nase Adam, let us make man. Who's us in this case? So Rashi says, Niblach b'fabal yishaloi, the whole corporation. The Kadosh Baruch Hu's here. Now he created all of this. Of course he created this, but he took a piece from the world of the Shabbos and a piece from the world of Yetzirah. So this was a nasa, Niblach b'fabal yishaloi. This was a team effort. Now, what does it even mean? But now that we explained that we're the main team members, nasa shutav la'Kadosh Baruch Hu v'asabratius, so we can understand. If we're a team member, we're tweaking, we're being done to Neveslami, we're creating good stuff in this world. So we're partners with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So now if let's say we're going to create a person, right? We as a couple are going to we're going to try with Hashem's help to create a human being. So yes, it's Hashem creating it, but it requires it's just simply not going to happen immaculately. It's only going to happen with the Hishtadfus. So as Eitan Yehuda says, Ein L'cha Shutav L'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is why this in Torah world is like the holiest thing in the world. And like everything else, anything that's so holy can become so tameh. It's like everything's like that. Anything that's so holy, look at Avodah Zarah. Zarah is the biggest tumah. Why? Because it's Avodah. Because the biggest kedusha you can do is to be Ovidus Hashem. So it's not so shver any longer that Hashem should say Nasa. Even though it doesn't mean anything but Kadosh Baruch Hu was, exactly like Rashi says, Niblach b'fabalya delay. He went to his own worlds. Let's go further. Nase Adam. Let us make a person, us. B'tzalmeinu. Okay, now it's getting complicated. B'tzalmeinu. So, okay, what does it mean? B'tzalmeinu, kidmuseinu. So, Salmeinu kidmuseinu, says the Zohar, is the dmus. It's working up. Nasa Adam, remember, Asiya, let's go it over again. What are the four worlds? Going backwards. Asiya, Yitzira, Bria. So, Nasa Adam B'Tzalmeinu, Adam B'Tzalmeinu Kidmuseinu. So Kidmuseinu is in the world of Bria. What's in the world of Bria? No. Malachim are the world of Yitzira. Kisei HaKavod. And what's made of the Kisei HaKavod? Neshama. So a Dmus is a Neshama. So Nasa Adam B'Tzalmeinu Kidmuseinu. Let's start with the Kidmuseinu. Let's make a person. We already explained what the let's is. It's not schwer. I could create a whole corporation and say to them, in earth, let's do this. So I'm taking nowadays. I'm taking the Adam and the let's take the neshama. Dmuseinu. So the shalom, the neshama looks like the neshama already has some kind of a look to it, and so that's how. What's that look? What's the look? So comes Chazal, Mefurish Chazal, and let's just read the words. Moshe Isa. This is Medrash Rabbah. Surasei shel Yaacov Avinu, olav shalom, chakuka b'kisei HaKavod. That there was a tzura of Yaakov Avinu on the Kisei HaKavod. Now, it means, let's go slowly because it's difficult to understand. It means that Yaakov Avinu went to sleep, he had a dream, he saw a ladder, and he saw Malachi Elokim, Oilu v'Yardim Bai. So what was he dreaming about? Which world? Malachi Elokim. He was dreaming, he was in the world of
Sira.
He was physically in the world of Asiya, and he was dreaming in the world of Yitzira, Malachi. But the world of Malachim is a ladder. Oilu v'Yardim Bai. So the Malachim are Oilu v'Yardim Bai. This is what Yaakov saw. What's on the top of the ladder? So says Chazal that Ra es HaKisei HaKavod. Why? Because on top of what was he seeing? He was seeing the Malachim going Oilu v'Yardim Bai. And what are they doing on top? So that's the end of the world of Yitzira, working into the world of
Bria.
The world of Bria, you have the Kisei HaKavod. So what he saw, say Chazal, is Surasei shel Yaakov Avinu, Medrash, Chakuka al Kisei HaKavod. He saw his own image on the Kisei HaKavod. Cool. Or as the Medrash says, Barichus, that first he looked at the Kisei HaKavod, mentioned this before, and he saw, this is a dream, he saw a nevuah. He saw the image of his grandfather, Avraham. So he knew he was coming from the right. This was emes, meaning what Avraham Avinu was mechadish in this world was emes. He didn't have a suffix philosophically whether it was emes, but here in nevuah, it was emes. And then he saw, says the Medrash, that Yitzchak, the image of Yitzchak, was chakuk on the kisei. And then he looked closer because he saw this is like his mishpacha, is chakuk on the kisei. Ras demus, he saw his own demus on the kisei HaKavod, and he woke up and he said, "Ma noira hamakim hazeh ein zekim beis elikim, v'zashar shamayim." Va'anoichi, but that I'm chakuk on the kisei hakavod lo yadati. This I didn't know. Va'anoichi lo yadati. Okay, didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know. He thought he's in the world of Asiya.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there in the world of Bria. Now, what was there? Whatever Yaakov Avinu looked like, which I have no idea. Whatever Yaakov Avinu looked like. So there was like a photo,
Yeah, I know.
portrait of him on the Kisei HaKavod. No, what he saw was, there's no portraits in the world of Bria. There's a neshamas in the world of Bria. He saw that his neshama, whatever neshama looks like, he saw that his neshama was chakuk al Kisei HaKavod. That's where what goes out of the Kisei HaKavod is the Bukar of neshamas.
The DNA of the
And
neshama.
he saw that his neshama is a shirish, is a makar. V'hanoichi lo yadati means I had no idea that I thought Avram Avinu made a monotheistic point. He made a philosophical point. He did chesed, and then Yitzchak tweaked it by doing the Akedah, etc. But no, there's something more here, that this became like a certain type of neshama. And that's the neshama of Yaakov Avinu. If I just skip the lashon is Tzuraso she Yaakov Avinu Sham Chakuk B'Kisei HaKavod. So a neshama also has some kind of a demus. So b'tzalmeinu kidmusenu. So Hashem says that, look, it shouldn't be so hard for us to know what a neshama looks like because we all have one. Right? But it's like saying, what does a personality look like? It's hard to see it under the microscope, a personality. But maybe, neshama is harder to see. But it's right here. But Yaakov Avinu got a glimpse at the neshama, but with the creation comes what Yaakov Avinu realized, that he got a glimpse of the olam neshama. So again, let's take the pasuk. Nasa, let us make man. So, b'dmusenu. And the demus, not of Hashem per se, has no rhyme or reason. But b'dmusenu comes from the world of Bria. That's the demus that I'm giving the person. So it's not Hashem. It's the Kisei HaKavod. It's the olam of neshamas. It's not where we daven to. We don't daven to the Kisei HaKavod. We don't daven to malachim, and we don't daven to neshamas. Maybe some religions do, but we don't. We don't pray to the dead. We don't pray to the souls. I imagine this sounds like something that other people do, they're sort of working with the souls. But nothing, we're praying to Hashem. Now Hashem we're not talking about Hashem in this discussion of Nasa Adam and Samedu Kid Busenu. That's talking about the mechanism and the process of the Bria.
Who's talking, Hashem? When he said that?
Hashem says that we, Nimlach b'famalia delay, he's Nimlach with this whole corporation, which is not Atzilus, he's an Atzilus, but Bria and Yetzira, and we're making the world of Asiya. So let's take the neshama that Yaakov Avinu saw, and Yaakov Avinu is, just skipping a couple lines just for clarity. Let's not skip a couple lines, let's just read it. Yotzra hu Adam shedimua elav. So Yotzra is the person, this is what we learned on Monday, which is similar, Doma, like, you know what it comes out to? There's only one surah. Hashem has no surah. There's only one surah, whether it's the surah in the world of Bria, in the world of Yetzira, in the world of Asiyah. There's only one surah. That's Surah Adam. So when there's just one surah, there is nothing else.
Again, it's not a copy machine though, either. I mean,
No, it's different components of Surah Adam. What does he look like? He looks like an angry person. What is it? He looks like a Homo sapien. He looks like a gorilla. What does he look like? I mean, there's different levels to what a person looks like. I was doing some research in Hebrew University Library, I came across, they have a Kabbalah room. You have to have a key. You can't go without a key. So I know somebody with a key. So it's really nice. Somebody donated, somebody I think in Amsterdam donated this Kabbalah room. They have every Kabbalah swarm there that the physical sefer must be 300 years old or 400 years old. And some of them are in print, and some of them are not in print. It's really something very, it's like a nice room. So there was a sefer there on, written by one of the early Abulafim Kabbalah on Chachmas HaPartzuf. Chachmas HaPartzuf is how you can look at somebody's face and know everything about them. Well, I had an interesting experience. My internet was broken, so the Bezek guy came to fix it, and he's in the box, like there's a box full of wires in the house. Switched the box full of wires. So he's in the box. He says he doesn't have he needs a wire that has an American on one side and an Israeli on another side. It's like the ones here are a little bit different than the one that goes into the phone. So he says to me, how do I get this? So I went to my pocket and I said, here. I had one. So he says, whoa, Bayit Shel Rav, Hakol Yochol Liyot. So I said, so he stands up, I give him the wire, Bayit Shel Rav, Hakol Yochol. So he says to me, look, I'm not supposed to get into this box. I'm only supposed to fix the tashtit on the outside. But there's a Bayit Shel Rav. He says, my mother is very sick. Can you give me a bracha for my mother? This is because I had a wire in my pocket. There's nothing else holy in this situation. It was looking on the internet. So I said, should you have her before Shlit'a? Lo, bracha. So he told me his mother's name. And I said, look, I don't know, I'm not a rabbi, I don't know how to give brachas, but I said, let's say a chapter of Tehillim together. So I did. He asked a kippah. So I said, yeah. I gave him a kippah, and we sat down together, and we said a chapter of Bezek, a chapter of Tehillim. Yafes. So then he says to me, and he fixes everything. He says he's fixing much more than he's supposed to fix, because, this is a Bayit Shel Rav, and you're doing miracles. Then he says to me, he says, Achi Chashuv is that his mother, his name is, she should have a Revush line, his name is Ruti Bat Mazal. You have a Revush line. Maybe this might help. So he said to me, when you give Eitzot, do you go Lufia Panim or Lufia Hashem? I'm such a weak, chacham that I didn't even understand the question. Stop at I am, So I said, what do you mean? So he said, what do you mean? What do I mean? Like yesh kela that go lefi the shame, and some go lefi the panim, right? So do you go lefi the panim or lefi the shame? So I go, when I give an eitzah, I give it lefi haseichel. So lefi harosh, lefi haseichel. Whoa!
Such a rough. Third one, nobody knows.
Right. So I said, why? So he said, because he tells me because Bezek is having some very, very serious problems, and they might, this insider information, they might, what do you call it, when you split up and privatize. They privatize, and then he might lose his job, so he doesn't know whether to keep his job and then be stuck, or start a business and do something else, like he's good at networking and things like that. So he didn't know what to do. So what should I do? So now that we healed his mother,
And the internet.
and the internet got fixed. So the internet was fixed. Yeah. So I told him that, look, you seem like a type of a person that, if you go into business, you shouldn't go into like an aggressive business where you're like fighting, you're a Adam Adin. So he said, "Ata mamash ro'eh b'fnim." Sorry. So tell you a story. Why my internet works. That's why my internet works. The sefer I saw in the university library is the sefer on Chachmas HaPartzuf. So what's the sefer on Chachmas HaPartzuf? It's a sefer which shows the characteristics of people's faces, and everybody looks like some animal or another. So meaning like like some people look like a lion, and some people look like a bird, and some people look like a bear. Right? Some people look like a frog. There's different kinds of people, and if you'll analyze, it's pretty easy to understand like the difference between different personality between an eagle and a lion, let's say. Right? It's just a whole different idea. And there's some that are aggressive, and there's some that are more laid back, and there's different jolly animals. So according to the sefer, you can judge everything by the parts of Adam. So I said, okay, that's written by a Talmud of Abulafia, but it seems pretty superficial. So he explains in the Hakdama with pictures of animals and showing faces and animals, the whole diagram of the sefer is 300 years old. So he explains in his introduction to this thesis, that's because that the personality, the nefesh Adam comes. I'm sorry to realize what time it was. The personality of the Adam comes from the olam of Yitzira, and the brias achayis of Bahemos, if you look in the Seder Bereshis, also comes from the Sefer of Yitzira. So our personalities have to do with these animals. Hence the term nefesh habahamis. That's the nefesh habahamis. So therefore, we're talking about. So to sum it up before we end, what we have over here is the Nasa Adam B'Tzalmenu. Interesting. Olam of Yitzira. Kidmusenu is the olam of Neshamos, and the olam of Atzilus, which Rabbi Tzadok says, Rak ba'Atzilus iyu v'chiyu achad. There's no tzura. In the world of Atzilus, there's no tzura. But once HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the Spheros, there has to be some kind of a tzura. There's a tzura of the Neshama. Hetz nasa the b'tzalmenu kidmusenu. That's the pshat in that pasuk. What does it mean? That the tzuras ha'adam, what we're looking at, when we look in the mirror, when we look at each other, the tzuras ha'adam is ketzuras of the olam of Bria in the world, the olam of Yitzir, the olam of Bria. And that's the Tzelem Elokim. That's the Tzelem Elokim. Okay, so we'll continue this.